Welcome to the Clean Comedy Podcast, featuring James Creviston and Luke LaCoy. Yeah, we're about to get clean up in here, so clean your mouth out with a bar of soap and get ready for the Clean Comedy Podcast.
Hey everybody, it's James, and this is the Clean Comedy Podcast. It is myself today and my trusty co-host, Mr. Luke LaCoy.
Hey, hey.
And today we have our great friend, our mentee coming back. He's done a lot of stuff since we mentored him. It's been amazing to watch him grow. Actually, I feel like he's outshining us, Luke. You think that's accurate? Yeah, I'm going to go with he's outshining us.
Yeah, that's a good way to. Yes.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's outshining us like the Arizona sun.
Ooh, good one. I like that. Hopefully, when he gets more famous than us, which he will take us on the road so we can open for him and stuff. So, all right, everybody, please give it up for the very special, the very funny, the very talented, all the way from Arizona, Mr. David Ross.
Hey! Woo! You're doing a great job! You're doing a great job! Hey, we missed you guys. Wow, what's happening?
Miss you
it's been
too,
a long
man.
time.
Welcome to the podcast. So
thank you.
Luke texted me this week, and he said, hey, we got to have David on the podcast. Great things have been happening. He wants to tell us all about it. And so I have refrained from learning anything about this. So give us the details. Tell us what's up. Tell us what's happening.
Well, it's getting warm out here in the Arizona desert. I love it. My AC's on, but I'm still sweating. I'm wearing like a jacket and stuff, so I'm trying to, I'm having a good time. But so yeah, no, a lot's been going. I haven't talked to you guys in months, two months maybe. Coronavirus. I got through that. A lot of people got it, but I didn't get it. I was trying to get it, but just to see what would happen, and then I never got it. I was hugging this. I think what's that called? Asymptomatic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that's me, because I was hugging people. They're like, I got it, and I'm like, come here, brotherly love. So no, I haven't been doing a whole lot of comedy, but I'm keeping it clean. I still do videos. I've been on this TV show. It's actually tonight on Facebook. It's called THT TV, and I do a sketch, and it's called Your Guide to Greatness. That's my section, and they've been paying me. They pay me $50 an episode, and tonight is the 9th episode, and next week is the 10th episode. So that's on my Facebook, and I share it. And actually, doing videos. My You're Doing a Great Job podcast. I just put out episode 41. And yeah, thank you. It's been a year since I've been doing it. And in March, right before coronavirus really hit America really bad, I did a live show, and the Arizona Daily Star, which is the biggest newspaper in Arizona, Tucson, Arizona, they came and they did a whole article on my podcast. And they said, you're doing a great job. And the guy was there, the photographer. His name was Kelly. He was really nice. He took like 4,000 photos. I just heard his camera going. And I was like jumping up on the table, like, you're doing a great job, woo! The whole time for like 3 hours. That's all I did. Real high energy. I drank 3 or 6 5-hour energies. So I had energy for hours. I was really getting addicted. Yeah, I know. Well, it was like all combust into like a few, I had a lot of energy, and then I went home and I took like 7 Tylenol PM so I could sleep. But that's what you do, that's America, I didn't die, so that's good.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, but the podcast, it's going good. So it was a whole article on podcast. So, but mine was like featured. I have the proof here.
Yeah, let's see it. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. So this is the Arizona Daily Star. It's a hot paper. It comes out every day. like
All
most
right.
paper. Yeah. You know how much a paper costs now?
75 cents?
It was $2.16.
Really? Oh, man.
Little
I thought that was
paper.
only... Wait, is that the Sunday paper or the regular paper?
No, it's a Thursday paper.
Oh, jeez.
There's
thought
no
the Sunday
coupons in here. I can't even get a coupon to Arby's.
That's
You know?
ridiculous. You got to get your money back on that newspaper then.
So there's like this section that they have for like mostly entertainment, and then they put me in the front cover. There I am.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Good job, dude.
Yeah, it says hearing voices. It's a short article. I could read it to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Tucson podcast covers a wide range of topics. So, yeah, so mine is so you can see I'm like up on a table, and then so they took 4,000 photos, and then they put that photo on the front, and then they put this photo, and you can see me up there. I'm up on the table up there, standing, screaming. That's all I did for like 3 hours. I was exhausted. So like they were doing like, and then like they interviewed 2 other podcasts in Tucson, because I guess people just started listening to podcasts in Tucson. I don't know, but I think they were gonna like they were doing like a gardening podcast, but then they had to change it because none of them could compare to mine. So they dropped the gardener and the conspiracy guy, and then they got like a rapper. So they did a rapper and a guy who did 10 balls. But it's just a short thing. But really, you know, a lot of the credit for me even starting my podcast comes to this podcast. So because I couldn't have done it without you guys, because you know, you just inspired me every month, you know, when I would come on your podcast and I was like, man, these guys are great. That's so much fun. I had so much fun when I was on your podcast. And that's what made me want to go out and start my own. Really, honestly, you guys are the reason for my success. So what they said is, you're doing a great job, podcast. David Ross just turned 35. His wife was out shopping, so he had the house to himself. He was inspired by other podcasters around the nation. See, I mentioned you guys to the paper. I said I was on this podcast for a year called the Clean Comedy Podcast. And these guys are really like who inspired me to actually want to do a podcast. But she just put podcasters around the nation. I apologize about that.
No, it's okay.
Yeah. So, and then she goes on and she says he dabbled with the idea, sitting down his own. He decided to make that dream a reality. Ross hopped on the internet, searched a platform, paid $100 annual fee, pressed record. There was no plan, no fancy microphone. And that's true. You don't really need any fancy whatever. So Ross, you know, he just talked about all the jobs he had, and there was plenty. He's tried out more than 75 jobs. Actually, I've had 77 jobs. So she fudged that a little bit. In 2019, Ross started You're Doing a Great Job podcast as a way to talk to people about their careers and let them know that they're appreciated. That's what I like, all while providing a close comedy, all providing a dose of comedy. Yes, that's what we're here for, doses of comedy.
That's awesome.
And yeah, so and then I'm always going around telling people, hey, you're doing a great job, but sometimes it might come off as sarcastic, but I'm saying it genuinely. I just want everyone to feel encouraged. Ross has worked in banking, furniture, construction. He was a barista. He worked in retirement. The list goes on. His podcast, which goes up on You're Doing a Great Job podcast, features the voices of ministers, doctors, lawyers, truck drivers. Ross admits that his podcast Well, I lost the rest of that article there. So pretty much she was just saying that, you know, I'm doing a great job. So there was actually a lot more that she wrote, but I lost it. So there was more on there.
There's probably like a digital. I would imagine there's like a digital version of this online or something like that. So we could put that link in there and stuff.
That came out like a few days before the actual paper came out. So nobody gets the paper anymore. I'll tell my friends and I was like, hey, get a paper. And they're like, oh, my grandma will get one for me.
So you've had 77 jobs. What would you say was your favorite job of all time? We'll take out the one that you're doing currently and like all the ones you've done before. That way, like, you know.
You know, I had this idea, like being a banker, that I was going to be like this multi-millionaire. I was like, I'll get a job, I'll be a banker, and then I'll be set. Bankers make hundreds of millions of dollars every day. So I got a job as a banker. I was a personal banker. That was my title.
Did you work for J.P. Morgan Chase?
No, it was a U.S. bank. Are you familiar with a U.S.
Gotcha.
bank? So
I worked as a personal banker too.
Oh, right. So, and you're not on the beach drinking a martini?
Nope.
Yeah, me neither. They don't make any money.
Not the real bankers that sit in your bank, but the investment guys. But then they only want people who went to like Ivy League schools and stuff. So even though I had an MBA, they wouldn't take my application to go to the investment side because I didn't go to like, you know, Stanford or Harvard or any of those schools. So I was like, all right, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
You're missing out. So yeah, I thought I would be a millionaire banker too.
That wasn't my favorite job though, but I think I think it's hard to say like a one favorite job. And like on my podcast, I ask people what their dream job is, and I don't really know if I have a dream job. I guess
that's a good question. Let's ask Luke. Luke, what was your favorite job? Secondly, what would be your dream job? David, you have to think about your favorite job and your dream job while Luke answers.
Okay, I'm on it.
I haven't had a favorite job yet, so that's a TBD. And I mean, like you know, I mean, I've done retail, I've done engineering. I guess that's really it. I mean, I've worked in research labs.
All right. Well, what's your dream job?
Anything where
that's a good one.
Like, I don't know, anywhere or anything that can take away my boss. So like I can just work without
That's
a boss.
A good one.
I mean that like I wouldn't care. I mean, I don't know. So I'm trying to work towards that. Like, you know, I'm doing the eBay thing and so, you know, who knows? I mean, comedy would be fun.
How dare you both not say stand-up comedian? What is wrong with you?
I got there eventually.
Eventually, jeez Louise. Come on. All right, David Ross, you're back in the hot seat.
Okay, so I've been doing a lot of gardening. I think I'd like to be a gardener.
Okay, stay away from the weed whackers, sir.
Well, like since all this coronavirus and the shortage of the cows, we're like, hey, let's grow some of our own vegetables. So we're growing corn, we're growing tomatoes, we're growing what are those purple things that look like
eggplants?
Eggplant. We're growing eggplant. I'm growing jalapeno peppers and chili peppers. And
how was no one impressed that I knew that? He just said purple thing. He just said purple thing. He didn't even finish the rest of that sentence. Come on, guys.
That was pretty great.
All right, and what is that your dream job now?
So that's my volunteer job, and I guess my dream job. Yeah, I mean, to be a professional stand-up comedian, I think for me is like hard to wrap my head around because I'd have to tour a lot, and I love doing it. I really. With all this coronavirus, it feels like it's really set me back with my joke writing. My joke writing now is like I grew some corn today. I'm growing corn. The corn looks good, and I just can't even find a punchline.
It's probably always listening to you. It has ears.
I love the corn. I go out there and I'm like, beautiful corn. Stories.
Do you talk to the corn? It really listens.
I tell it that. Yeah.
It has ears.
You're doing a great job, corn. I said, I can't wait to see those ears.
Can you hear me, corn? I know you have ears. All right, so I'm gonna go because I figure somebody's probably gonna say, "Wait, James didn't answer." So
James,
I'm going to say
no, I was going to ask you, what's your dream job? And then what was your favorite job?
me or Luke. Wait,
Well, I don't know where you are.
whose name? Just say a name.
You, James. You, James.
All right. So
James, what is your favorite job and what is your dream job?
all right. So my favorite, literally my favorite job of all time. I was in college and I worked for a place called the Gun Store in Las Vegas, and they used to have big billboards that said, "Come shoot a real machine gun." And I worked there for like 2 or 3 years, and I loved it because every day we just got to shoot and teach people to shoot, and had people come from all over the world and get to learn about other cultures while we talk to people about shooting and whatever. I met Chris Angel when I worked there. Penn and Teller came and shot one of their shows there. I met a ton of celebrities and all kinds of stuff. It was I love that job. And the only reason I left that job is because my wife got pregnant. And believe it or not, this is going to sound like the weirdest thing. They did not have health insurance while working at a gun range. That's terrible. That's the worst they could possibly do. So I didn't have that.
Well,
but
yeah.
But my dream job is to be like Judd Apatow, to write movies, direct movies, TV shows, make my own stuff, and do stand-up. He does all that stuff. I love Judd Apatow. I think he's an amazing guy. Probably one of the funniest people, at least in the modern age of being able to do sitcoms and films and stand-up and all that stuff. So that'd be my thing. And what it would be owning my own production company like Judd Apatow does, where I can we can make movies, we can make TV shows, we can do our own stuff, and we're not beholden to anybody else, So that's the goal, and honestly, that's what we're working towards. So I don't want to say any details, but things are happening and things are moving forward, and there's a lot of different cogs moving forward, and I think probably in the next year or two, hopefully things will go where I need them to go, and the money that I've been making can be reinvested, and we can build. I'm not even going to say the name of the thing because there is a name. There is stuff out there, but we're working hard. So that's the goal.
Keep working hard because I have some ideas for you once you get there. I definitely have some things, some real hot things. They're hot. I mean, it's going to be huge.
Well, that's the thing is, everyone likes to think oh, I can do it all myself, or, oh, I'm the funniest or whatever. I never think that I'm the funniest. I never think that I'm the best. I never think I know everything. What I am good at, and what I know that I'm good at, is I'm good at finding people who are funnier than me and smarter than me and better than me, and bringing them, along, not glomming onto them. That sounds like a weird phrase, but having them be a part of what I'm trying to do. And I find those people and I go, ooh, I respect you because of this. I like you because of this. Like Robert G. Lee, smart guy, right? David Studebaker, probably one of the best joke writers, performers I've ever seen. Don Friesen should be higher as a comedian than he's ever been. Jason Love is probably one of the hardest working, most entrepreneurial comedians I've ever met in my entire life. Marty Simpson went from being a football coach and coaching high school and whatever to being a great comedian and doing his own stuff, and then starting clean comedy things. I mean, all these people that we meet and work with, they all have these great talents, and I take a little bit from every single person and try to make myself better and try to make the world a better place, which is exactly what you try to do with You're Doing Great. You're Doing a Great Job podcast. I mean, that's the whole point, right?
Exactly. Like my first show, I had this guy as the guest, and he was a server at it. But most of my guests have been comedians because they're so hungry for some attention. So they're like, hey, I want to be on your podcast. So the first guy, he was a server at a restaurant. And that first live show, the first live show, because I've had 5 live shows.
Wow.
And they're all bananas. They're all crazy and they're awesome. And my mom sings in the middle of them. And it's just people can't wrap their head around it. One guy said, if you could put all that in a bottle, I'd be a billionaire. And I said, okay, how about a trillionaire? Give me a trillion. So no, it's not about the money. It's about having fun. And some other people that were in the audience, because I invited a lot of people to come to the show. And this guy that works at a local radio station, he's a DJ, they came to the show, and then they just gravitated towards me. They said, you have to keep doing this. You have, the guy that was the guest, he became my co-host for the live shows. And he was like, "This is amazing. We got to keep doing it." And then the guy that works at the radio, he's like a big promoter for the show. Another guy came, he videos the whole show and cuts it up and puts out clips for me and stuff. And then another guy that came, he does the comedy before, like because I have stand-up comedy before the show, like
wow.
30 minutes of stand-up comedy before the show, and then I get into the podcast, and then I do like 30 minutes of the podcast, and then my mom comes on and sings a song. And it's funny because I heckle her the whole time. Same with the comedian. And I'm like, "You sound like an old black lady." She kind of does, but it's cool. I'm into it. And, so it's kooky. And but like you said, you need a team of people. And I want to grow my team even more to reach a larger influence. I want to kind of get away from comedians and just get more towards like more serious people that are actually doing a great job, because like 90% of the comedians here, they're not doing a great job. They're all like unemployed. They're like, "Hey, can you buy me a drink?" And I'm like, "No." Okay. They get the place that I do my live shows that they give me free drinks.
And then basically go from there.
Right. What?
Then you could run Tucson. You're the richest comedian, and then you run Tucson. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I want to just run Tucson, Arizona, New Mexico, move up. I want to buy a house in Colorado. I'd like to move up to Colorado, hang out with I have some friends that live up there. I'd like to come to California more.
Don't. California's getting too expensive. I'm thinking about moving soon. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, Arizona's pretty nice.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's hot.
So you're building this empire. You're doing all these things with podcasts and all that stuff. What's the end goal? Are you going to start actually, back up real quick. How do you put on these live shows? Because that seems like a lot of work, like pretty difficult. Is it hard, or where do you do them at? How do you do it? All that kind of stuff.
It is a lot of work, and I have guys help me promote it, and I make flyers and I pass out flyers for the show, and I made online flyers that I send. I'll invite everyone on my Facebook page to come to the show, and the most people that I've had at a show is maybe 70 people.
Wow.
But it's at a hotel, in the lobby of a hotel, so but to coordinate the comedians, and then comedians they drop out at the last minute, so I got to call somebody else to come in and fill a 10-minute spot, and then I'm stressed out about that. And then I've had guests come down from Phoenix and stuff, and this one guy was on Nickelodeon, or not Nickelodeon, he was on what's TV Land. He was on TV Land.
Yeah, that's TV Land.
Yeah. So he came down from Phoenix, and he was on my show. He was on the third or second live podcast. So to coordinate guests, I'm not having a problem getting guests. A lot of people are willing, but I want to make sure that they're good. And I've done one podcast over the Zoom with a guy, and it's just not, it doesn't feel that, it's not I'm "You're doing a great job," and then it's we're not capturing it. So I might just move it just to do live shows once a month, because that's the most fun. But in order, I think, to keep an audience, I think that you have to do a weekly show to keep people coming. I mean, my downloads aren't that great. I mean, I think the most downloads that I've had on one episode is 520 or something like that.
That's awesome.
So,
Congrats.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd like it, I want it to grow and be a big deal, and, get a deal for Spotify for $100 million an episode.
I was about to say, with Joe Rogan going behind the paywall soon, there might be more spots for the rest of us.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of, that's great. Who doesn't want that,
No, yeah, good for him. But I think, honestly, that's going to open up a lot of spots for other podcasts, because he's going to be behind a paywall for Spotify, so you're gonna have to pay to listen to his podcast. So then more, people who are listening to his thing that maybe don't want to go pay for Spotify, maybe they're gonna find something new, and there's the opportunity for other people to step up and stuff. So we'll see what happens. All right, where can people find the You're Having a Good Time podcast, and where can they find you at, David? And then same thing for you, Luke.
So the thing that I've been directing people is just type in my name, Google David Ross Comedy Sauce. It'll take me to my YouTube channel. Subscribe to that because that's getting better. And then there's some of the live podcast shows right there on the YouTube. So
Nice.
Thank you.
And Luke,
thanks for having me again.
Yeah, no problem, man. Luke, where can people find you at?
LaCoy Comedy. The Google works. Type in LaCoy Comedy and my stuff should pop up.
Google works. Awesome. And you can find me. You can find me, James D. Creviston. I have YouTube. These are now. So if you're listening to this podcast in the old style of radio podcast, I don't know what you want to call it. In the old style of podcasting with just audio only, great, right? Keep doing it. Keep downloading. Keep listening. But don't forget, we also have. This is now on YouTube, and every week, every episode that comes out, I do a different background. The guests don't say anything about it. We already talked about it offline before we get on. I let them know not to say anything. But go in there and write the name of this backdrop that's here on the episode. And if you're listening, guess what? Now you have a reason to go watch my ugly face, see how silly and funny David Ross is, and how handsome Luke LaCoy is. So there you go. You can see my ugly face and their beautiful faces and get to guess the backdrop. And then what I'll do is whoever guesses it, I will shout out your name on the next episode that we get from there. So it might be a week or two, but usually we record a couple episodes, ahead or whatever. But I'll shout it out on the next episode. And actually, while we're doing that, I'm going to shout it out next. The previous person who guessed, I'm going to shout out their stuff on the next episode. So for the first background that somebody did, they put it in the notes. And then Jason Love ruined my other one. It's okay. I love Jason Love.
Can I guess?
You can guess not on the air. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Please subscribe.
Thanks,
please
guys.
like if you're watching this. Please subscribe to the channel. Please like and leave a comment. And everybody, thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Yeah, we're about to get clean up in here. So clean your mouth out with a bar of soap and get ready for the clean.